Hey guys, for today's lesson, we're going to be using this practice page to talk about missing addends using addition and subtraction. So this is a little bit further down on your page. It is the practice page so that you can follow along with me. I'm going to do it on the whiteboard here so that it's a little bigger because this page is pretty small to try to show up on the video. All right, so number one. It wants us to write the numbers and the X to solve. We have a picture there to use. We're going to write a missing addend sentence and a subtraction sentence to solve it. Sounds a lot rougher than what it is. I promise it's not that hard. All right. So whenever you have missing addends, you have your answer or the whole, and then you have your two parts that add up to get that. So you have your part and your part. So a whole, part, part. All right, so in A, it says the school has 547 students, of which 265 are girls. How many are boys? All right, and they have this diagram, so I will do both. All boys over here and girls over here. Okay, so these are the two ways that you're going to see this. Angle that down a little bit better for you. There we go. Okay, so the two ways, I'm going to stick to this way because essentially it's the same thing. You have all or your whole. One part is the boys, one part is the girls. Okay, so just so you can see that they are showing you the same thing, they're just written in two different ways. All right, so the school has 547 students. Well, students is both boys and girls. So is that a part of it? No, because that would be boys. And this is girls. Well, it doesn't say that it's boys or girls. It says it's students. So that is everybody. So up here, we're going to write 547. And then it tells us that 265 of those students are girls. So I can erase this part. I know this part, but I don't know this one. 265. And I'm going to put an X in there. That's known as a variable or something we don't know. It's an unknown. So when you see letters, they will take and they're going to be standing for something we don't know. We're searching for that. This is what we're going to find is X. All right. And they want to know how many are boys. So when it asks for a missing addend sentence, we know that to add, we add up the two parts and they equal the whole. So our addend sentence is we have our part of boys that we don't know, so X, plus the 265 girls, and that will give us all of the kids that are 547. So something plus 265 equals 547. Okay, well, it's hard when you don't know the two parts that are adding up, but you can use the inverse, which means the opposite, to find the answer. So when we don't know a part and we're adding, we're going to do the opposite and subtract. Because if I know how many and I know this part, I can figure out this part. Okay, so let me erase this really quick. So our subtraction sentence is always your whole minus the part. So we know we have 547, and we know the part to find the other part. So all we did was switch things around a little bit. Still the same numbers, still trying to solve for the same thing. We're just taking and setting it up a slightly different way. Now, I don't like this vertical or horizontal stuff. I like the vertical. So I'm going to write mine just a little different so that I can solve it. Minus 265. I like mine going straight up and down. 7 minus 5 is 2. I can't take 4 minus 6 because 6 is bigger. It's on the bottom. So I have to regroup. I take 1 from there. I borrow. That becomes a 4. And now that becomes a 14. 14 minus 6 is 8. And 4 minus 2 is 2. Now, before I write that down, I'm not just going to assume, I'm going to check myself. And if you guys haven't done this, then it's a really helpful thing. I'm going to take my 2 parts and add them back together to see if they equal this whole. So the answer I got was 282. I'm going to add the part I know and see if I get this 547. So I'm going to work backwards to check myself. 2 plus 5 is 7. 8 plus 6 is 14. So the 4 goes down there and the 1 comes up there. And then 2 plus 2 is 4, but we have this one up here, which makes 5. So I did end up coming back to 547. So on your paper, how we're going to translate that, we had to write the missing addend sentence, which was x plus 265 equals 547. The subtraction sentence, all we're doing is switching this around. 547 minus 265. And then the answer for the boys ended up being 282, 265, and 547. So there's our add-in sentence, our subtraction sentence, and there it is set up in the little graph they have. All right, let's look at B. Now I'm going to talk about B, but I want you to pause the video when we get it set up, and I want you to try to come up with the answer. Okay. Erase this here real quick. Again, I want you to pause it because I want you to try it. All right, so we have our whole, our part, and our part. Okay, so B says, of the 148 kennel dogs, 86 are not spotted, and the rest are spotted. Okay, so this is our spotted dogs. This is our not spotted dogs. And this is all the dogs together. Okay, so I make that little graph. And then I'm going to fill in the information that I know. I know there's 148 kennel dogs. That's not telling me it's spotted. It's not telling me it's not spotted. It's all together. So 148 go there. 86 are not spotted. Okay, so I'm going to put that in the not spotted. How many are spotted? We don't know this, so that's where that X comes in. And it could be any letter. A lot of times it will be an X. Right? So there it is all set up. So the first thing we wanted was an add-in sentence, a missing add-in sentence. And you can tell what kind of sentence it wants because you hear that add-end. Add-end means I'm going to be adding. Okay, well, when we add, we have our 2 parts that equal the whole. So X plus 86 equals 148. Then we make it into a subtraction sentence. Okay, subtraction always starts with the whole and you take away a part. In this case, it's this part. So 148 minus, We're not going to take away the part we don't know. You're going to take away the part you do know. So 86 equals X. So there's the two sentences that we need, and then we're actually going to solve it. So I will set it up here, because again, I like doing mine up and down. I line them up. I make sure I line my ones up. I always start on the rightmost side in the ones place, and then move my way left. Okay, so pause the video for a second. I want you to try that, and then come back and I'll continue, and we'll see if you got the right answer. Okay, so pause. All right, and hopefully you did pause and try this. 8 minus 6 is 2. I can't take 4 minus 8. 4 is smaller, and it has to be bigger on top. So I come next door. I have a 1 there, and when I take that 1, it leaves me with nothing. I'm going to regroup that with my 4 in the hundreds place. 14 minus 8 is 6, and then there's nothing there. So you can either not write it, or if you want, you could write the 0. I'm not going to. And then the last step is I'm going to work backwards, and I'm going to check, did I get the right part? Because when these two add together, it should equal that. So I'm going to come back to this missing add-in sentence and fill in for this X. So I have 86 plus 62. 6 and 2 give me, getting down the little low there. 6 and 2 give me 8. And 8 and 6, when I add them together, give me the number 14. And 148, it does match. So the last thing to do, if you haven't already done this on your paper, is to go ahead and make sure you fill in the parts that we needed. So we needed a missing add-in sentence, that's that one. So X plus 86 equals 148. Then we need the subtraction sentence, which is the next one underneath of it. So we take our whole and we take away the part that we know. Okay, so there's our missing add-in. There is the subtraction sentence. And we need to fill in the rest of this. So all we had 148 dogs. We knew that 86 were not spotted. And now we know that 62 are spotted. Okay. So now it gets not quite, they don't want you to write the subtraction sentence for number 2. This one says, write a missing add-in sentence with X and then solve. So here they already have them kind of right out for you. So that makes it nice. I'm only doing 2 of these with you. The last 3 are yours to try. Okay. All right. So number 2A, get that erased. Okay, so this is 2A. All right, so the store had 450 small lamps and a total of 980 lamps. How many of the lamps are big? All right, so I have my thing here. I set up my little organizer. I know that it's talking about lamps, so total lamps. And what kind of lamps make up the total? I have small lamps and I have big lamps. And again, I'm getting all that information from right here. Okay. So the store has 450 small lamps. All right, so I know there's 450 small lamps and a total of 980. Well, total's up here, so 980. And I want to know how many are big. All right, so they already have this sentence set up for you. It says small plus big equals total. They already have that set up on your paper for you. How nice of them. And then they have some blanks underneath. So all you have to do is fill in the blanks. Pretty easy. All right, well, we know that I've got 450 small. I don't know how many are big, but I know that in the end, I will have 980 of them. So there's that missing add-in sentence. To work backwards, you're going to subtract. We need to figure out this. So if I know the total and I know this part, I can subtract to figure that out. So 980, going to take away the part I know, 450, and that'll give me how many big ones I have. So starting over in the ones place, 0 minus 0, well, that's easy. If I have nothing and I take away nothing, I still have nothing. 8 minus 5, okay, that one's nice and easy. That's 3. And 9 minus 4 is 5. So in the end, x equals 530. Oh, I almost forgot to check myself. So I'm going to do that up here. If I have 450 and I said 530, I should get 980. All right, so let's see. 0 plus 0 leaves me with 0. 5 and 3, when I add them, give me 8. And 4 and 5 give me 9. And they match, so that is the correct answer. Can't forget to check yourselves. It is a really easy way to be able to make sure that you're getting the right answer. All right, so on here, hopefully you've already filled this in. We had 450 small. We don't know how many big, but we know that there were 980 in total. I should see where you have done your subtraction over here to get the 530. So x equals 530. Let me get that closer so you can see. Okay, so there's my add-in sentence. There you can see where I'm subtracting, and x equals 530. 530 what? This is also very important in math. You need to make sure you label 530 big lamps. Okay. All right, let's do the next one. All right, the next one says a school's teachers and students filled a 500 or 450 place auditorium. If the school has 43 teachers, how many students did it have? All right, well, if we fill something, that means we have got every seat taken. So that means all 450 seats are taken. So this is 2B. All right, so there's our little organizer. We know that the total will be at the top. All right, and we're talking about teachers and students. All right, so teachers and students. Okay. All right, so a school's teachers and students filled a 450 place auditorium. If they're filling that, that's telling me that's teachers and students together, so that is everybody. 450. If the school has 43 teachers, okay, so that's telling me that there are 43, and we don't know how many students there are. All right, so they already have the sentence set up for you here. Students plus teachers equals the total. And all you have to do is fill in what we've already filled in up here if you haven't. We don't know how many students, so that's an X. We do know that there's 43 teachers and that altogether there's 450 seats. Okay, pause the video real quick, write your subtraction, and come up with the answer, and then come back and we'll continue together. So take a second and pause it. Okay, hopefully, again, you listened and paused. I know in subtraction, again, I always start with the total. I'm taking away a part of it. 450 minus 43, and again, notice the ones place is what I use to line everything up. I can't do 0 minus 3, so I have to borrow or regroup so that 5 becomes a 4, and the 0 becomes a 10. 10 minus 3 is 7. 4 minus 4 is 0. And I don't have anything to take away, so I just bring that down. 407 students. Okay, before I write that and just stop, I'm going to work backwards and check and make sure that that is correct. So 407 students plus the 43 teachers. Let's see if that equals and fills us up with the 450 seats we need to. 7 and 3 equals 10. So the 0 goes there. I carry my 1 up. 1 plus 0 is 1, plus 4 gives me 5. And I bring the 4 down. And yep, we do have our 450, so X equals 407 students. Okay, so on your paper, if you haven't already written that, we're going to go ahead and write that. Okay, so students, we did not know how many students. Teachers, there were 43 teachers and 450 total seats that we were going to fill. You would write your subtraction over here. I'm just writing it down because I've already done that over here. So X equals 407. 407 what? Students. Like that. All right, and the very last one that I'm going to do with you is C. Or no, I'm not doing C with you. I will at least help you set up C, and then you're going to try it along with D and E. Okay? And as long as you're trying, you're going to get points. Okay? So this is participation. However, if you get them right, I give you some bonus. So it is worth it to try. All right, so to at least set up 2C for you. Mom had $250 and she came back with 78. How much did she spend? Okay, so they have spent, left equals, and it said this has had originally. Okay, that's what that little abbreviation means. It's meant had originally. Okay, so had originally, if you weren't sure what goes up here, again, it's the total, but this is what she originally had when she left the house to go shopping. Okay, and when you go shopping, this is what you do. You spend your money. So you start with something, you spend it. How much do you have left? Okay, so this is the spent, and this is what she has left. Okay, mom had 250 and came back with 78. How much did she spend? Well, if she had 250, that's how much she started with. She left the house with $250. She came back with 78. So is 78 what she spent? No, 78 is what she has left. We want to know how much she spent. Okay, so there it is set up for you. So all you have to do is do your subtraction. Show me on here, and then tell me how much she spent during the day shopping. Okay. D, I'll at least read the rest of them to you, but you are going to be setting these up and trying these completely on your own. Janet had $200. She bought an item for 54 and another item for 78. How much money is left? So that's a little bit of a challenge. You can do it though. Fill in the blanks. It will help, I promise. Ed E. John bought one thing for 23 and another thing for 29. He had left 100 and he had left 125. How much did he have originally? So they don't have anything here. So let me help you out with that part real quick. I'll at least help you label your spaces. All right, so he bought one thing for 23. So this would be item number 1. Okay, so item 1 goes here. And another thing for 29. So that means he bought a second item. He had left 125. So here's what he had left, and that equals his total. Okay, so just like right above it, it's the same setup. Only they're asking two different things. How much money is left, and how much did he have originally? Might help to think about number 3 for that one. All right, guys. So again, as long as you're trying them, you'll get your full points. But if you get them right, you get some bonus. All right. Well, I hope you have a good day, and I will talk to you later. Bye, guys.